Hello students, welcome to your Destiny JEET and I am your mentor RATNESH sir. Today we are going to study about goods and services tax, which is in short called GST. Okay, now what is GST? Let us see. GST is for G means goods, S means services and T means tax, means it is common tax for goods and services. Now you see that goods and services tax is a comprehensive tax levied on manufactured sale and consumption of goods and services at national level. You can say it is a policy of one nation, one tax. Now if you study about the type of GSTs, you will see here we can see three types of GSTs, but they can be broadly grouped into two groups. The first two, blue and green, called SGST and CGST, are actually intrastate GSTs. The first part goes to the state government and the second part goes to the central government with the share of 50% each. And the third one is the interstate GST called the integrated GST, which goes to the central government and 100% share is for the central government. Here the state government has no share. Now let us first of all understand the meaning of interstate and intrastate sales. Now if the trade or selling and buying takes place within one and the same state, then it is called intrastate sale, and in that case we have two GSTs. I told you as earlier that CGST and SGST. The CGST is paid to the central government and SGST is paid to the state government, both getting equal shares. In the case of interstate sales, what we see that only CGST means central government GST is paid, and that is paid to the central government, but it is known with a new name called IGST or integrated GST. Now by this what we come to know that taxes under GST can be divided into two groups. One is intrastate and the other one is interstate. In intrastate, that is within the state, we have two types of GSTs again. One is the central GST called the CGST and the other one is the state government GST called the SGST. But in case of interstate movement or trade, what we have the integrated GST, which wholly goes to the central government. How GST is computed? First of all, get a concept, then I'll clarify the point. Suppose a wholesaler sells an article, suppose for 40,000 to a shopkeeper and takes 10% GST. Okay, so shopkeeper will pay how much? 44,000 rupees to the wholesaler. Wholesaler will remove 4,000 as tax and pay to the government. Okay, this GST will be paid by whom? The wholesaler. But this amount which the shopkeeper paid to the wholesaler will be kept as calculated form as input tax for the shopkeeper. Now when the shopkeeper sells, suppose the article for 50,000 rupees to a customer, and for that he takes 10% GST, 5,000 rupees, at that time this tax will be called output tax or GST. Okay, the GST payable by him will be how much then? Payable by him will be 5,000 minus 4,000, that is output GST minus input GST, and the balance will be 1,000, which will he be paying to the governments, whoever share it may be. Okay, understood? Now let us see here, we are showing on the board that output GST is on sales. This is for the shopkeeper we are talking. Suppose shopkeepers dealing we are showing. Output GST is on sales and input GST is on the expense purchase. When he buys, on the purchase he gave this tax. GST payable becomes what? If output is more than the input, then only you have to pay otherwise not. Okay, if suppose anyhow he had discounted by some reason and not paid, not got 5,000, got 3,000, then you would have not paid any tax anymore. Okay, understood? If understood, let us go to some problems that will make your concept of GST more clear. Okay, let us read the first problem. What it states: a dealer in UP buys an article for rupees 30,000 from a wholesaler in UP. He sells the article to a consumer in Gujarat at a profit of 8%. If the rate of GST is 12%, find the tax under GST paid by the wholesaler to the governments. Number 2, the tax under GST paid by the dealer to the governments. And number 3, the amount which the consumer pays for the article. Now let's solve the problem. What we see, the wholesaler who is in UP sells the article to a dealer who is also in UP. The dealer in turn sells the article to a consumer who is in Gujarat. Okay. So this is a case of intra-state GST, and this is the case of interstate GST. Here the article was sold for rupees so much. Here the article was sold for rupees so much plus 8% profit. Now the GST applied is 12%. So let us see how much GST was paid by the wholesaler to the governments. It was GST here in the case of number 1 will be equal to 12% of 30,000 rupees. If we cancel out, it becomes 3,600 or 3,600, which will be divided into 2 equal parts, 1,800 each, and one will go as CGST to the central government and the other will go as SGST to the state government, to the government of UP. Now what happens? We come to the next state question part. So what is the part next part? So it is given that now how much GST does the dealer pay to the governments? For that, what we have to know? First we have to know for how much does the dealer sell the article. He sells for the article cost for his CP was so much, and he made a profit of 8%, and total SP becomes 108 upon 100. 108. If you multiply this now, you get 32400. So hence, this is the amount for which the tax will be collected from. Now this will be interstate tax. It will be IGST. And how much it will amount to? It will be 12% of 32400, which amounts to 388. This is called output GST for the dealer, and this 3,600 was input GST for the dealer. Okay, this is both are dealer's input and output GST. The net GST paid by dealer equals to output GST minus input GST, and it comes to how much? It comes to 288, and this is IGST GST, therefore it goes to the central government. And what does Gujarat government, state GST here is what? Nil. Therefore Gujarat government does not get any GST. So these are the two GSTs we divided, where everything went to the central government. Next, go to the third part. Let's go to the third part. Now the consumer paid total amount of how much? he paid the cost of the article as this one, which was the sell price. This was the sell price of the dealer, and in addition to that he also had to pay this tax 3888, which amounts to 36288, and hence we get our answers. Okay, now let us read the second question. A shopkeeper in Rajasthan buys an article at the printed price of 40,000 from a wholesaler in Delhi. The shopkeeper sells the article to a consumer in Rajasthan at a profit of 25% on the basic cost price. If the rate of GST is 18%, find number 1 the price of the article inclusive of the tax and the GST at which the shopkeeper bought it. Number 2 the amount of tax and the GST paid by the shopkeeper to the government. Number 3 the amount of tax and the GST paid by the government and central government. Number 4 the amount which the consumer paid for the article. What we see in the problem, the wholesaler who is in Delhi, he sells the article to shopkeeper who is in Rajasthan. Okay, the shopkeeper in turn sells it to the consumer who is also in Rajasthan. The first is the case of interstate GST, and second is the case of intra-state GST. Okay, now the wholesaler sold the article for 40,000 rupees to the shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper sold it to the consumer for 40,000 plus 25% profit. Now let us go to the question. First question is that the price of the article inclusive of tax under GST at which the shopkeeper bought, means he bought it from the what? Bought it from the wholesaler. The amount paid by shopkeeper to wholesaler. You have to find out. Okay, and how much it comes to? 40,000 was the cost price, but he had to also pay 18% GST. Then it comes to 100 plus 18, 118 upon 100. This amounts to how much? 47200. This is the amount he pays to the dealer, but dealer, he keeps 40,000 for himself and pays 7200 as what? IGST. This is integrated GST. It is for interstate tax. Okay, this is paid by whom? By the wholesaler to the central government. To whom? To central government. But where did he get this money from? He got this money from the shopkeeper. This becomes the shopkeeper's what? Input GST. Okay. Now let's go to the second part of the question. What it asks us, it says that the amount of tax paid by the shopkeeper to the government. First, the shopkeeper has to sell the thing to pay the tax. Now he sells for how much? Let us see. So SP of shopkeeper, how much it is? 40,000 was his cost price. He made a profit of 25%, and therefore his sell price becomes 50,000 rupees now. Now the tax will be taken on 50,000 rupees. The GST here, what GST we are going to get? We are going to get GST for the intrastate GST. Now let us see how much GST will be paid for here. 18 upon 100 into 50,000. This will come to 9,000, and out of this actually 4,500 would have gone as CGST to the central government, and 4,500 would have gone to the state GST for the state government. But there is a problem here. Already central government has taken 7,200 from this 9,000. Then the central government's share was how much? But 4,500. The extra of 2,700 amount was taken by the central government. Now this will not be paid by the shopkeeper or the consumer. It has to be what? Deducted from the share of the state government, and the state government gets just amount of 1,800 as SGST. And this, which state government gets? The Rajasthan state government gets, because Delhi state government does not get, because there is no internal means intrastate dealing in Delhi. Delhi is a state here, okay? Delhi state government, remember this. Now we come to the third part of the question. The third part of the question says, let us keep this one as part A. Delhi, I told you, did not get any tax. B, how much did the B, let us keep the central government's part. How much did the central government get? It got in the beginning 7,200. This remains as the central government share, and the amount which the consumer pays for the article. We come to the last part of the question. Now the consumer, how much he pays? The consumers pays how much? Let us see how much he pays. First we see that sell price was 50,000, plus he also has paid this 9,000 tax collected from him. It becomes 59,000. This is the amount the consumer pays for the article finally. And hence we come to the end of our presentation. I hope you have liked the presentation, and in order to get more videos like this, stay tuned with us. Thank you for watching. यदि यह वीडियो आपको अच्छा लगा हो तो इसको लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें। साथ ही साथ बेल आइकन ज़रूर प्रेस करें ताकि वीडियो अपलोड होते ही आपको नोटिफिकेशन मिले और आप तुरंत इसे देख पाएँ। Thank you for staying with us.